All right. Let's go ahead and start over. My
I
bad.
missed
I
that.
completely forgot that Evan's not here.
That's cool.
Do it
He's
again.
here
Do
in
it again.
spirit.
Well, I mean, he is, but it's just, yeah. Go ahead, Evan.
That's right. We'll chicken wing it.
Uh,
Yo, 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 what up, man? Welcome to Mezzo Forte Sportz. That's right, Bar Talk with the super fans. We tune out with the crew. We got today's edition. We got the man with no class. He talks trash. It's Seabass. As always, for producer Frank AV, fearless host Danny BMD, and me, of course, your amateur hype man, super fan art. We talking sports, South Texas style. Take it away, Dan.
Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to Mezzo Forte Sportz, Bar Talk for super fans. Coming to you live, San Antonio, Texas, to your ears, providing some sports time for your free time. What up? Is your host, Danny BMD. How's everyone doing today? And how did your team do this week? How's everyone doing today? It's been a while. We've been going through some situational stuff with the climate with here in Texas, but we're back on, guys. We do have Mr. Seabass with us, Superfan Arts, and of course we do have our producer Crack AV. He's not with us, obviously in person, but in spirit he is. His camera was a little off today, but that's okay. Today, guys, we're actually gonna talk a little bit of some NBA. We are going to talk about golf, the situation going on with there, and just a little bit something, kind of a small episode. It's more of a little bit of a last minute thing since we are still kind of recovering a little bit with our with the weather again. Here in Texas, we did get a little bit of a weather situation, so all of our electricity was kind of
shitload of cold. That's what we got.
Yeah, we got a lot of snow. We're not used to snow, guys. Our bad. That's our bad. Yeah, exactly.
What is this, Oklahoma?
Exactly. So it's kind of like, I mean, my bad. Like, we don't really know how to do this stuff. And it was crazy. But anyways, we are still kind of recovering. Whoever was able to get on, we were able to get on. But by next week, we should be full on again. Just to go ahead and so we can get our cast and get a multiple of guests on now. Get a slew going of guests on our.
We got some show. Different faces up in here since we're tired of our ugly mugs.
Exactly. Get some new segment going as well. As you know, football has ended, unfortunately. But we do have
not in spirit.
Yeah, but not in spirit, right? But we do have other sports to talk about. Obviously, the NBA. We're talking about a little bit about soccer, golf, a little bit about boxing, MMA, fighting, stuff like that. The fighting sports, and we're just gonna get some Tosco. He's not here with us today, but him and Superfan are gonna talk a little bit about baseball. And
we'll get phenomenal Juan come in with some wrestling news.
Some Juan with some wrestling news, of course, and obviously just all NBA. We all know NBA. We'll get our new Houston segment contact, which would be Corey Barb. He'll be in our show a little bit later on. But other than that, I do want to say that just give a shout out real quick to our sponsor, which is Studio 13th Day. So local music, local art, I say best, working for you. So they do provide the main theme, all of our production, our post-production, stuff like that, all of our team behind Studio 13th Days. Just want to give a shout out, thank you so much. But other than that, we'll go ahead and get started. Around the rim. Boom. So we'll go. So we did go ahead and get started with our All-Star Weekend. So just kind of our All-Star selection that that we did that were chosen. Obviously, we kind of all know that it is a semi-popularity contest. I mean, let's go ahead and call it how it is.
Every
But
year, yes.
yeah, but we'll just go ahead and just kind of announce. So in this case, on the West, you do have just the starters. Zion, Chris Paul. Wait, this is starters, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Zion.
I don't think Zion's a starter, bro.
First All Star appearance. All these are. Hold on. Let me get this.
Is that-
Starters.
If you're on the cover of 2K, you got to be in the All Star game.
Oh, shit. Okay, all right, so, all right. So West on the West. So for the West Coast,
LeBron,
the West
Kawhi.
Coast Western Conference. So we do have LeBron James, Curry, Luca, Jokic, and Kawhi Leonard as the starting five. The reserves, you do have Anthony Davis, Paul George, Rudy Gobert. I know me and Steve talk about
Gobert.
Gobert.
Say it
Gobert. My bad. Me and Steve.
right. Not Gogurt. Gobert.
My bad.
Healthy snacks.
Me and Steve were talking about a little bit about him and be like, huh, wait, what? Damian Lillard, Mitchell, Chris Paul, Zion Williamson, and Anthony Davis. But since Anthony Davis is injured, Devin Booker is actually replacing him.
And
Which-
honestly, he should have been in there from the get go, I think.
Correct. I think he should have. Yeah, exactly. Should have been a reserve. I completely agree with you. Which we'll talk a little bit about in a little bit. So for the Eastern Conference, we do have Durant.
The whole Nets team.
We have yeah, on the Nets. And it's kind of weird seeing them on the East. We have Giannis, Bradley Beal, Embiid, and Kyrie Irving as the starters. We do the reserves. You have Harden, Jalen Brown, Zach LaVine, Julius Randle, Ben Simmons, Jason Tatum, and Nicola from, I believe, the Orlando. So, obviously you have all the Nets. Their big three is in there. Two of them are actually starters. So that's kind of something big to think about. Just so the first thing we'll talk about is your thoughts, Seabass. What do you think of the All Stars? We're not gonna talk about the snubs. We'll talk about the snubs a little bit, but just like we'll talk about your actual thoughts. Your thoughts about who was actually chosen. What do you think?
So I kind of like your first comment when we started, or you started the segment. It's always going to be popularity contest, not necessarily the best player or the current best player gets chosen, especially when you're talking about starters. I think you find a lot more value in the reserves because sometimes just because some guy has a big name, they get chosen. But yes, LeBron should have been there. Yes, Kawhi, Giannis, everyone in there. I think as a starter on both Eastern and the Western Conference deserve to be there. It's kind of fun to see them next to each other and imagining the All Star game and thinking if there was like a best of seven, who would win? Because it's pretty even, to be honest. You take the pros and cons or the strengths and the weaknesses of all these players, and it'll be interesting to see LeBron and Kevin Durant go at it, or Giannis, or in Kawhi, Stephen Curry on Kyrie. Like it'll be fun to see that kind of game. But I do think that best players normally are up there. Some of the players that might have been there, or you consider snubs. I know we're not talking about them. They're not that bad. I don't think anyone got completely cut off. But I do think that it should be fun to watch, as always. The All Star Weekend is not just about the game or who made it; it's about the whole entertainment around it. We'll see what kind of games or skill games we got, but I am looking forward to it. It's a half season. Some things are going to be different always, but as far as All Star picks, I agree with most of them. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. What about you, Mr. Superfan Art? What do you think?
Well, I was kind of a little bit surprised they went through with actually hosting an All Star game, considering the
Me
current
too.
climate right now.
Yeah.
I guess they just said it's better for morale if they, try to have it at least as safe as possible, like not have a year without an All Star game. So there's kind of some tension there, even with the players. Uh, LeBron was pretty vocal about it. Like, is this really what we need right now? But since it's already about what 2 weeks from now, 2 or 3 weeks from now,
Yeah.
it's pretty much already a done deal. I guess there's too much money in it to not host an All Star game. But like Seabass said, like it's full effect. All the stars are going to be out there. We'll talk about the snubs later because I'm sure there's a whole half show we could do about the snubs.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they got it right. I did like that they did the last minute get Devin Booker in there for Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I would have put him before Chris Paul, to be honest, especially the last couple weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Me too.
And yeah, it was crazy. The players vote and like the media votes and the fans, fans at home vote. And it's a little bit of obscured voting, obviously, because of the whole like, well, who's better than who? How do we quantify this? But in terms of sheer entertainment, like they got it correct. I mean, it doesn't matter who's starting. Actually, it's pretty much it's going to be high scoring, no defense affair. It's like a Harlem Globetrotters game, but instead of playing the Washington Generals, it's Globetrotters versus Globetrotters. It's just going to be the spectacle.
It's a great way to put it. I like it. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So just to kind of highlight the All Star Weekend, which actually is gonna be what in 2? No,
2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks.
actually
It's
not.
like March.
Middle of March.
Yeah,
Like the first weekend in March.
yeah, first weekend. It's not gonna be. So it's not this weekend, but the next.
Next weekend.
Yeah. So by next show, we'll do the actual. We can do like a All Star snubs for like people. People have a guest coming in and talk about it. But essentially, starting is gonna be March 7th, which is actually gonna be what so it's gonna be on Sunday. So it's gonna be the whole. Oh, it's gonna be one day. Wow. Okay. So it's gonna be one single day, which is March 7th, which is on Sunday. Coverage starts at 5 p.m. Eastern. So for us, it's like what 6? TNT. So there's actually gonna be 3 challenges, which is the skills challenge, 3-point challenge, and the dunk contest. And right after the dunk contest, they're gonna have the All-Star game.
Oh,
Actually,
Sunday.
no. Sorry. Let me backtrack. In the middle of the All-Star game, the halftime show is gonna be the dunk contest.
Really?
Yes.
They better make it a very long halftime because I want to see a lot of dunks.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Why are they trying to? Well, I mean, yeah, this
they're
year
trying to
makes sense.
squeeze like a lot of stuff in there.
I want to see Anthony Edwards go up there 3, 4, 5 times.
So this is the itinerary. I guess for us, Eastern would be 6, right? Or Central. So it'd be 5 coverage begins, 6:30 skills challenge and 3-point, and then that 8 is the All-Star game, and then halftime of All-Star game is the slam contest, and then that's it.
Nice.
I mean, should be pretty. It should be pretty good, I guess. Looking forward to it. I guess it's
Better than nothing, right?
yeah. It's just it's just one of those things. So moving along, and in this case, we'll start actually with Superfan Art. What do you think? So obviously, we talked about the All-Star All-Star Weekend starters and reserves. So let's talk about the All-Star snubs.
Snub.
In this case, we'll start with I don't know. Give me like 3 players that you think were snubbed from the All-Star team.
A little biased, but I would have liked to see a couple of Spurs in there. I guess the top one that
DeRozan.
everyone was concerned with DeRozan.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
the guy has been busting his ass off
yeah,
in kind of helping bring the Spurs back and in some momentum.
He's averaging 20 points.
Yeah, and sadly, he was not voted in, I guess, for some reason. But it's okay. I mean, he's has some time to kind of recollect himself after passing of his father. So I mean, yeah, he didn't get to go, but let him, I guess, just chill with family, or I guess for the time being, recollect himself.
Yeah.
It was Lamarcus Aldridge, obviously. Uh, there was Booker was almost snubbed, but he didn't. That was
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, technically he was, but we'll just go with he wasn't, because he is playing technically, right?
Exactly.
And then who else?
Um,
I'll throw a couple names like Trey Young. Um,
oh yeah, that was a big one too. He's pretty much the franchise face for Atlanta.
yeah. Mike Conley.
I was gonna say, Mike Conley doesn't have the stats, but he's definitely helping the Jazz.
Yeah. So, but that's awesome. Anything else you'd like to add?
No.
Wow, very nice.
Well,
Very nice.
I mean, yeah, Conley
I
didn't
like
get
it. I
in,
like
but his Utah Jazz, they're first in the West right now, getting some good comp with LA.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, LA didn't have Davis, but
that's what
you
I'm
know the
saying.
Jazz,
See, but
Jazz need to be respected. So does Conley.
Exactly. I mean, even Mitchell. Obviously you got in right, but Sebas, what do you think?
I mean, I definitely agree with uh, super fan art. I think if anyone, the Spurs should have maybe made it. Would have been DeMar DeRozan, but if you take only the stats, he compares to a lot of players. So I understand that. But somebody that really to me goes underrated or underlooked a lot is Bam. Yeah, I mean, and also Jimmy Butler. So with the Heat, you got Jimmy Butler, which I think is playing pretty good. He could have had a shot at it, but Bama Debayo is playing a pretty good level. He's averaging a double double. He didn't even make it as a reserve. That was strange. We already talked about Devin Booker. I think he should have been definitely there. Not a starter, but you could see him there if he keeps it up for a year or two. But Chris Middleton with the Bucks, obviously he gets a little bit overshadowed by Giannis, but he's having a good year. I don't think the snubs this year are that obvious. I don't have a single guy that I'm like, man, he should have been there, or like, how is this guy there and not this guy? Like we do it in a lot of other years or a lot of other sports. But if anyone, yeah, I think Dan Booker. I'm glad he got in there. I think Bama Debayo should have been there. But I mean, besides that, everything else is, I guess, understandable if you only look at the stats. Because our Superfund Art had a good point. Demar overcame a lot and had a tough year, even on top of the tough year that everyone's having and the half season that we're having. And he's been consistent. He's been helping the Spurs stay in games. I mean, I know they're close to 500, but they're still top 5, 6 teams in the West. And it's in large part because of him. But yeah, I don't think the snubs are that uh, egregious, but definitely a couple players should have been in there.
Yeah, and like I said, just I think it is a popularity contest. The reserves are chosen by the coaches, but there really is a lot of good players. Like even on the West or the East, teams are really starting to kind of develop, especially now where it's like very, like every game counts so much more. Especially because you don't even know if you're gonna be able to play like that week or anything like that because of COVID, because of this, because of that. Um, so but definitely just for me, obviously DeRozan. Being a Spurs fan, it's kind of I'm a little biased about it, but
Just a little.
just a little.
This first season also had something to do with that. I think if the Spurs were a top 2, top 3 in the West, I'm sure he would have been there. Just
Correct.
votes.
Correct. So, but other than that, I completely agree with you guys. Devin Booker to me was kind of a shock over Chris Paul. Chris Paul's good.
Chris Paul,
but,
that's he got in there
it's
because of the
kinda-
name. Really, if you look at his stats, I don't think he deserves to be up there. I mean, when you think about the All Star game, you got top 12 players for each conference. That means 24 players, but there's a lot more than 24 good players in the NBA or really good players in the NBA.
Yeah.
So yeah, some have to be snubbed, but I think they did a good job overall.
So,
I like
so in this case, moving forward, doing a good segue into our final four teams in the finals. Good job, Evan. Mr. Crack AV over knowing, always knowing what's on the put. So, for in this case, obviously we are it's very early in the season. It's essentially half or mid season, which feels weird because it's like it feels like they haven't really played a lot of games
too
at
quick.
all. But we're just gonna kind of give our two teams from each each conference. We'll start with Mr. Seabass. See what you think. Top two
All right.
teams. As if they currently are right now. They don't necessarily. They might not necessarily be the ones that'll, be at the end of the season. But who would you go with right now? Give me your thoughts.
So right now, I guess I'll start with the Eastern Conference. I would say I think the Sixers are the top dog right now.
Nice.
If I would have to go forward into the playoffs and the championship, I don't think they'll make it. I would say the way the Nets are playing and the way their firepower is, especially they're all healthy. I would say them and the Bucks are going to be my top two choices for the East. Um, and the Bucks is mainly relying on Giannis and the fact that I'm a little bit biased, but I do think that they will be a better team than the Sixers as the season progresses. And then on the West side, on the Western side, I'm really liking the Jazz. I really am, to be honest. But I mean, the Lakers are definitely gonna still be winning some games. I would say they're one of my top two teams. And if it's not the Jazz, it would have to be the Clippers. So no, I'll keep it as my two teams on the West will be the Jazz and the Lakers. I would say the Nets and the Lakers is the championship game I want to watch, but I think they just played like a week or two ago, and Brooklyn didn't have that hard of a time. It took them down. Obviously, injuries played a part in that game. But I would love to see either Brooklyn Jazz or if it's the Lakers that make it, I would like to see the Bucks and the Lakers just to see Giannis, LeBron type of showdown. But yeah, those are my four teams as of right now.
Nice, nice. No, yeah. I think I agree with you. I think especially this year where it's just like, I feel like I don't know. I feel like even during the bubble, um, how a lot of people were saying like, oh no, Miami had like a lucky run and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Which they kind of did. I mean, you saw like how the Suns were sort of like super hot, and they barely missed the actual playoffs or whatever. Um, but at the end, I think that even this year, going into this year, I mean, we had like a 3 or 4 week off season or whatever. It kind of everything is kind of factor into it where they're kind of talking about it how like the older teams they got a little bit better during the
yeah,
bubble or
they
whatever.
have an advantage to be honest.
And I was like, why they get better if they're older? Shouldn't they get more tired? It's like, well, yeah, but they get more rest. Or like when you're like younger, like you're
And
used
they
to
need
just
less
go go
reps
go.
to get
Yeah,
better.
yeah. Whereas if you're younger, you need to go 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 to to get you started. When you're a vet, you can know how to turn it on. Um,
Exactly. And
and
it doesn't affect you that much to miss some practice time or to miss gelling with the team.
yeah, because you have your Tyler Heroes averaging 20 points in the NBA Finals or whatever. It's just one of
Exactly.
those things. Well, I mean,
They rise up to the chat.
correct, and you can argue that like it only happens during a bubble, but that's just neither here or there. But we'll go ahead and go with Mr. Superfan Arts opinion. What do you think the final four teams are going to be in the finals?
The Spurs and who? No.
No, I agree with you on the West. I am being a little favorable towards the Jazz Lakers, especially if Davis is back. I don't see who else could topple the Lakers at the top spot. And the Jazz, obviously, they got it going on record wise. Let's see if they can carry that momentum into the postseason
Yeah.
with their
Yeah.
star power and veteran power both combined. You saw how pretty close they were last year in the bubble.
Yeah.
Now I'm pretty sure they're hungry for like some redemption. So I'm really hoping they could take it all the way. On the eastern side, I mean, I'm liking what I see from the Nets currently, and they're not even at full power.
Like
But
6
that-
games in a row right now.
But right now, that's
Seven.
kind of like still like in an experiment. So I mean, if things keep going the trend that it is, I see the Nets going to the top. And since Boston's currently going through a little funk right now, I'll lean more towards the 76ers as well. See how Simmons and then that crew do.
All right.
Well, they've currently
Nice.
been doing pretty well, so I don't see why they wouldn't make it to the end.
There we go. There we go. So, for me, I think it would be the Nets and the 76ers. I just don't think the Celtics have enough like consistency. I think they have the talent, and I
The
think that
Celtics or the Bucks?
the Celtics.
You thinking this? Okay.
I think because I think they do have the talent, enough talent, like especially on the wings, and a coach. But I just don't think I don't know. I feel like they have like I don't know, payoff experience. I don't know, man. Like the corporate knowledge or kind of like that one person, because Tatum was stepping up like in the playoffs and stuff like that.
That one person is what they're missing.
You know,
You were close there. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's good, right? He can score, but he's not that one guy. It's just
And we got teams that have multiple one guys
Yeah.
going against.
correct. Like you can you have Embiid, you have Ben Simmons, you have even your Chris Middletons and stuff, like stuff like that, where I don't think the Clippers, or I'm sorry, the Celtics have enough of that, and the Bucks, I think they still do rely too much on Giannis, for just for scoring in general. Like Middleton needs to be averaging like 30 a game, like not really, but like close to it, so they can even have a shot to actually be. Because dude, they're gonna play the Nets. The Nets are gonna blow them away. Like it's gonna be like 150 against whatever you score. Like literally.
Oh no!
Exactly. Well,
Like,
if they're
literally.
healthy, but yes.
Yeah. Because like, dude, like Harden, like Kyrie and KD, those are like guaranteed 30 points each. Those are guaranteed 90 points, dude. It's just whatever else the entire other team scores or whatever.
You know what you're saying kind of took me back to what Art was saying earlier. It got me thinking about it. I'm kind of seeing this year's Brooklyn Nets and the way they started off slow, and we were like, oh, it's not gonna work. Is it gonna work? Kyrie, is he gonna play? Is he not? Whatever. And then they kind of figured it out, and now they're like in a lot of 7-game winning streak, and they're top dogs in the East. It reminds me a little bit of Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFL. Tom Brady came over,
yeah.
he brought a couple other players.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it's like, oh, is it going to work? How is it going to work? Oh, they're losing, or they're 50-50. They suck. And then, boom, they caught fire, and now they won the championship. I think if the Nets come out and win the championship, you can kind of compare the stories. Not exactly, obviously. I don't think I wouldn't say Durant is the GOAT compared to Tom Brady, but just the way
Like
they
the parallels.
progressed. Yeah, the way they progressed after like stars came together. But yeah.
That's
yeah,
actually
well,
that's actually a pretty good take. I can actually definitely see that. Like the whole, situation or whatever. That's strangely
Now,
very.
does Steve Nash deserve any of that credit?
any of it? Yeah, a little bit, but not.
I mean, it's
not a
'cause-
large part.
Yeah, it's because, dude, like
He's
when
gonna
you
be in the credits, but somewhere, not in the front.
yeah, like dude, when you have KD and like Jane, like
James Harden and Kyrie and that
you know,
bench that bench. Oh, come
dude,
on.
That's
You
why
don't
you
need
can
to do
have.
much.
That's why you can have DeAndre Jordan like be a
It's like
center.
Spoelstra back in the
Yeah.
day.
I
No
mean,
offense, no
but
offense. He
Spoelstra.
made a name for
I
himself.
was
He
like
made
gonna
it.
say yeah. I was gonna say
Yeah,
yeah.
I like Spoelstra, but we know how he started. Let's not forget that.
Was it was it Ty Lue? What was your name? Or what? Did you say Ty Lue or Spoelstra? Because I feel like it's the same thing. No, but Spoelstra did make a name for himself.
He was with Miami like for
And he's
a long time
For a
before.
while. Yeah.
which is something I really like.
Yeah. So again, my bad. So for me, it's gonna be Nets, 76ers, Lakers. I mean, unless they don't, you know. My second, my is actually the Jazz. Was
All
as
right.
well, and the Clippers. Is my close third. The Clippers, I just don't trust them, bro. Like I just don't. Like it's like one of those where it's just, you know, like you can get to the playoffs, but you still need to like win.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
like one of those things. I don't know. I think they were doing good. It's just I honestly think it's Kawhi. I honestly think you as a leader, excuse me, you just have to be more vocal. You just have to like, you know. I understand that you're different and you're quiet and everything, but like, we're paying you a whole bunch of money, bro. Sorry. You're a professional now. You're not like in college and you don't have Pop to be, protecting you around. No, like this is all you. So that's the only reason why I really wouldn't put the Clippers. Um
I think it's
just
funny because I think all three of us went and we kind of named the same 5, 6 teams. But I think a dark horse, or not even a dark horse because they have a great record, but a team to look out for, I guess, or not forget about is the Phoenix Suns. They're playing good.
yeah,
They got a good record.
they have a young
They
team.
got both Devin Booker and Chris Paul. Like we're just arguing how they got snubbed or not. Whatever. They're both playing pretty good, especially Booker. So don't sleep on the Suns, but obviously the Suns have a history
And they had a pretty
of
good
teasing
like
us.
they had a good win streak during the bubble playoffs
Yeah, they
or
did.
race for the
Exactly.
playoffs.
That's what I'm
Impressive.
saying. Yeah, that's what I'm
They were
saying.
like
Yeah.
the only undefeated team, and they still got snubbed.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So essentially, just kind of like, one of those things where, I don't know.
We
Like
have
I
to
feel
wait
like,
and see what happens, really.
yeah, and I feel like, I don't know. Do you think they're gonna do a bubble again for the playoffs?
Nah. Oh, I think they should. I don't think they will because they're being too lax lately. Um, that's my take.
I don't know. I feel like, yeah, unless something like crazy starts happening where like, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, like something where it's just like I don't know. There's like a lot of like a super outbreak or something like that. But
I agree, but I think now, like the owners are getting all their players vaccinated as fast as possible. So, I think an outbreak is definitely what would mess it up or not allow it to happen.
yeah,
But the chances of that happening are dropping by the week as these players are getting all vaccinated.
yeah, exactly, and everyone and stuff like that. So, um, but we'll just go ahead and just move into our next segment, which is actually gonna be our Spurs talk. Nice. So of course, Spurs are doing pretty good. I don't care what anyone says. They're the best team in the world. Yes, whatever. We're super fans here today.
It's in the name.
But in this case, it's gonna just want to kind of talk a little bit about what's going on right now. They are currently 16-12. So they are. I mean, they're doing pretty good. Let me just. My bad. Sorry. Standings. All right, cool. So in this case, the Spurs right now are number 6 in the Western Conference. They're 16.
They are number 6.
Yeah, number 6. They're
Oh, so they're in right now, pretty much.
yeah, they're 16-12. Let's see. We have Utah Jazz, Clippers, Lakers, Suns. Oh wow, they're your Suns. Trailblazers, Spurs, Nuggets, and Warriors. Believe it or not, are 8. Mavericks 9, Grizzlies 10, Pelicans, Thunder, Kings, Rockets, and the T Wolves at the
Wolves.
end.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, wait, the Kings are at the end.
No, the T Wolves. No, the Kings are
Oh,
like third to last, which is
I was gonna say the Wolves. I don't know, the last 2-3 years, I could just assume they're at the end.
yeah.
No offense, no offense to T Wolves fans. Just saying, it's like Jaguars. You can assume that too.
Yeah. So the Spurs right now are again number 6. They are 16-12. Their actual roster is actually doing really good.
The benches, yeah.
The everyone does have there is a couple of Spurs with double digits in points. DeMar DeRozan is like 19.8 points. Um, uh, DeJounte Murray is actually averaging 15. Kendon Johnson, believe it or not, is actually a second year or first year, right? No, second year.
Yeah.
As 14.5, so it's the same thing as the Marcus Aldridge, which is 14.1. Patty Mills 13. Um, Derek White 11, Rudy Gay 11, and Lonnie Walker 10. So we have a whole bunch of like Spurs that are in double digits in points, averaging double digits in points. No one's actually averaging a double double or anything like that, but it is Spurs basketball, right? But just kind of want to get everyone's thoughts on them on that. Right now, obviously, DeRozan is the leading scorer, but one of the big things for me is DeJounte Murray. I was just kind of waiting for him to start breaking out, which I think he actually is. He does have a couple of let me see if we have a couple of I think he had
Rockets are extremely active
really
to start this game.
games.
Brett and I were with the Rockets against the Lakers on Tuesday. DeRozan with them.
Let's see, my bad. I think actually. So right now, like DeMar DeRozan again, he's the one that's actually leading the Spurs. And I think personally, I know that the phenomenal Juan doesn't really like him or anything like that. But he just doesn't. I don't know. But I think that he will, honestly, because this is his last year, right? He can choose to stay or sign a extension.
I was gonna say maybe his last.
If they offer him an extension, I think they will offer him an extension. I don't think they'll pay him as much. But honestly, like if I was him, I would just stay. Like he's fitting in with the team a little bit. I feel that like he's kind of really gelling with like the new kids coming up, like the new core of young Spurs. And I feel like he can be a good veteran presence. Like Patty Mills is good and everything, but I feel like I don't know, like DeMar DeRozan is just really. I mean, he hasn't been there. He hasn't won a ring, right? And he's, people can argue that he hasn't been good in the clutch, but I still think that he is valuable to the Spurs. So we'll go ahead and start with your take, Seabass, just like on the Spurs current status quo, and then just go from there.
No problem. Yeah. So honestly, you guys will probably hear me over the shows or the times always rag or maybe try and talk smack about the Spurs, but I always follow them. I do like them. I respect them. I saw what they did over the last 20 years. Popovich is one of the greatest coaches, or the greatest coach in my personal opinion. But if we're talking about right now, 2021, yes, DeMar DeRozan is playing really good. I also don't think that he should leave. I think he has the opportunity to. I think that he's not going to get top dollar, or everyone gets top dollar in free agency or when you switch teams. But as far as getting the top contract, like he maybe would have gotten 4 years ago, he won't get that money anywhere. He might try to go to a team that just needs him or needs a spot situation for him, and maybe he can go win a ring. But I feel like he is young enough to stay with the Spurs, build a culture with the Spurs, especially at the moment right now where the Spurs are, where they had an identity for so long. Now they don't, and they're trying to find it, and they have it, but they don't. And it kind of just depends on their young guys season after season, at least the last 3 years. I think if he stays, a couple of these guys grow. Murray, you had a good point. I do have my eye on him. A couple other players, Patty Mills, are going to be there for a while. I think the Spurs have a chance to build. I think DeMar should stay and help them, but I also think that they need to spend a lot because right now they're, I think you said 16-12. Yes, they're not doing bad, but they're getting on a little losing streak and they're right at 500. And you know that mostly 500 teams, even if they sneak in at the sixth position or the fifth position, they're usually the first to go out. You can't expect much. So I do think there's hope there. I do think if everyone pretty much plays their top game and plays Popovich basketball, they can maybe surprise and win a round in the playoffs, but I don't think they'll go far at all. Not this year. No offense to any Spurs fans, but I do think they have a lot to build on, especially if DeRozan stays or they give him a contract, and they maybe get some good picks or they get some good free agents coming in. But honestly, I'm looking out for the Spurs to be good, but at the moment, I think they're just middle of the pack in the West.
And honestly, I kind of unfortunately agree with you. I think the Spurs do have a really good core. I think they have really good picks. They don't have a really something that's just life changing generational or anything like that. But I think that them building
If
up
they
a
did,
team,
it'd be different.
yeah, and I think even then, I think them building up a team will do that. I think the only person right now that would be kind of fill that role, I think if anything, would be Kenan Johnson. Just because I feel like he has that potential to be that breakout star. But
He's young enough to still be able to get there if he tries hard enough.
and he's driven, bro. Like he's driven. Like he goes for the ball.
I
Like
haven't read much on him though.
Yeah, dude.
Is he like?
Yeah,
Is there
like
a lot of good stories on?
yeah. Well, more than anything, like if you see him play, like he goes for the ball. Like he'll actually, go for the rebound. Like he'll
Yeah.
attack the basket.
Oh, he
like,
plays aggressively, defense and offense. That's what I like
Yeah.
about him. Absolutely. I
Yeah,
just don't know much about him off the court.
yeah. So like then Pop likes that. Like like it's like look, you can be aggressive, whatever, but like be aggressive and like in the right way or whatever.
And limit mistakes.
Yeah, limit mistakes, which he doesn't make a lot of mistakes, but he's lately he sometimes he does, but he's aggressive.
He's young. He's in his second year.
Yeah, exactly. So just kind of passing the mic along to Mr. Superfan Art. What do you think?
RD.
Well, the Spurs were on a good run, and then lo and behold, COVID protocols made him miss like a whole week's worth, maybe a little bit more, potential games that they could help climb into this race of the West. I know I was watching the game tonight. They lost a pretty good heartbreaker against the Thunder because it was tied, and then
Yeah,
a
that's
last
pretty bad.
minute shot. Yeah, that's bad, but
Who got the last minute shot? I missed the game.
I couldn't say. Some Thunder guy.
Okay, it's all right. Doesn't matter.
Irrelevant.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been seeing
Okay.
some good things, especially from, like I said, John T. Murray is finally coming into his own stride. We've been wondering when he was going to start to take over. Now I don't know if he's a leader per se, but the boy's got some skills, and finally he's starting to shine now. That Keldon Johnson, underdog, underrated. Maybe he was a steal in the draft that he was in, the draft class. But that guy is hungry. He is motivated, like you said. I really hope Popovich continues to kind of help cultivate the young man and develop his skills, because he could be, I don't know, maybe he'll be the next Tony Parker, the future. I don't know.
Did he play today?
Yes, I believe he did.
Yeah, I think so. I think more than Tony Parker, I think he can be more like a Kawhi type of like a wing. Obviously, it's not gonna be Kawhi, right? But like a Kawhi. Well, yeah, because Kawhi is because the thing is some
Kawhi had the size, the speed.
I was gonna say yeah. Like I mean, you can't. What is it?
Yeah,
You can't teach size or whatever.
Brain.
Yeah. Yeah, like you can't teach, but I think that like he can build up to that, or like if he builds up the three, if he learns how to defend and everything like that, because he has a length more than anything. Obviously, he still needs to. I still think he needs more pounds, maybe like 10 more pounds on them. But that's obviously going to come with time and with nutrition, and the Spurs obviously will help him with that. But I think he can be that type of player, where like a two-way type of player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree with it. Absolutely.
Now, as for some of the veterans like Aldridge,
yeah,
I don't know how many more seasons he's got left, or the Spurs
With the
will try
Spurs?
to- with the Spurs, would you
Yeah.
request a trade? I don't know, but
It'd be dumb of
currently,
him, to be honest.
well, that could be for another. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But
Hopefully,
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind the Spurs parting ways with him if it was mutual. So the Spurs are a good squad, and the record shows that they're currently 6th in the West, but there's still at least 2 or 3 more pieces to really like make it to the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
I mean, they gotta compete, man. The West is always getting new superstars from college or abroad, like in some random teams, like the Nuggets. The Nuggets weren't relevant for like years since what's his name, Anthony left, and now like they got what's his face Jokic, and
Yeah.
they're a beast. Sometimes it's that one player that's a catalyst, and that could reinvigorate a franchise. Same thing with Dallas. They got Luca and Porzingis, and now like they're household names now. They're
Luca
competing
makes
now.
Porzingis look so much better.
For real, the
Yeah.
Batman Robin going on there. So yeah, the Spurs, there's still 2 or 3 to try to compete with those crazy wild card teams, dark horses, whatever you want. So maybe in the next 2 or 3 seasons, God willing, we'll see what the Spurs can muster up then.
Super fan art. Quick question. Let's say like those 2-3 players you're missing in your ideal situation, would they be scorers? Would they be defensive players? Would they be big men? What would you say the Spurs would need if you were to handpick those 2-3 players? Not names, but attributes.
I would like a defensive big man. Not gonna lie.
Yes.
But we all know.
Maybe
we all
two.
know-
Maybe 2.
Yeah. But we all know the league is shifting now towards, perimeter shooting,
honestly,
threes, and
though,
all that.
Just first
honestly,
half.
dude, honestly, I would take Andre Drummond. Boom.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. I don't see what. Yeah, that absolutely help.
Because like
In rotation.
Well, because more than anything, like the Spurs can just because they have so many guards, you can just make some of them very like wing type of players, like a wing guard combo, or like you can have
But then you're dependent on fast
three?
defense, and then in 3.
Well, yeah, but that's what they have. The Spurs, like one of the big things they have is like their fast break points. They're like top. I don't know what they are, but they're like that's always kind of been their thing, because they can steal, they can throw those little small steals here and there, or whatever. They add up to points. They're like, you take like 5-6 steals or whatever, and those are like 10, 11, 10, 12 points extra, that you get for free, quotation marks. But I think that what the Spurs can shift is just like have like a big man in the center and just have like 4 wings in the outside, like everyone just shooting the ball. Maybe get inside and do the whole Spurs movement type of thing. But just really have like an actual rim protector, because the Spurs don't really have a good rim protector. Portal is all right, and sometimes Rudy Gay gets in the mix, and so does Aldridge.
I honestly expected more Rudy Gay.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like a Drummond or even someone young, like what's the guy's face from Cleveland or whatever. That played for UT.
Ooh,
Jared Allen.
Yeah.
Imagine like Jared Allen and the Spurs, bro. That's championship team.
It'll go that route, yes, but I think you would still need another player. Maybe.
Okay, like who the Spurs need to like?
Are you talking about like a single player need, or like a good addition to the nucleus, 2-3 players.
I mean, I guess you would have to trade away. Ponle, we trade away Lamarcus, right? Like he really
you
is.
have to.
Yeah, he is really like. I mean, I love the guy, but he really is not like just very dead weight, especially to, the
Young Spurs.
the young Spurs or whatever. Especially because it's like the league is just not like not the same. But who would you take or who would you grab? I think I would grab a big man. Like I would grab, like even like Capella or something.
Ooh. That'd be
Griffin.
Oh, actually, in Pop's system, if he actually puts in the work, I'll be curious. I'll be interested.
Be a star.
Absolutely.
He can be a star. He can
Yeah.
score. He would score. Like Griffin in Pop system would score a lot of points.
It's just his age is a factor, though. Is he past his prime already?
Nah, I don't know. I think so. But I think that I don't know. I feel like the Spurs need just a big man and a good power forward. But I mean I can't think of like anyone that maybe like the Joker. No mames, imagine. Or even I don't know about Rudy Gobert. I'm like looking.
So you want rim protectors?
I want rim protector just so we can have a rim protector, right? So we can not give up points in the paint. And I want a wing that is like a proven star, you know. Let's see.
Give an example of what kind of what style of wing you're referring to.
Like Kawhi Leonard, honestly. I mean,
He ain't coming back.
I mean, I know he ain't coming back. I really don't want him back, honestly. I mean, F that guy. No offense, but I hate that guy. Whatever. I hate number 2.
We ain't found shit.
Now, I think, yeah, someone like Kawhi, but I think, I don't know. Or even like a good shooter, like, like Devin Booker.
Okay.
Like imagine like Devin Booker instead of like Patty Mills, even though it wouldn't work, right? Because obviously we would need to give up more. Or like even like a Klay Thompson. Imagine Spurs, bro. That guy would like average 50.
Well, sometimes the guys they shine better in the right system. So yeah, maybe you could get somebody who's like off of the bench at some other team, but like he could bring out his potential and be a starter.
Yeah. What about you, Sivas? What do you think? Like, what the Spurs? Because I'm saying what the Spurs need is a star, or like not a star, but like at least a good rim protector and a star, wing player like Kawhi. Obviously, F that guy. I hope he has a horrible career.
He won't. He won't. He's looking good right now.
And I have his signed shirt, signed jersey, whatever. Anyway,
You know what, Danny? I'll answer your question, but I'm gonna throw in a 20-second monologue. To every single Spurs fan that I know or don't know that hates Kawhi Leonard, he wasn't made for the system. He didn't like it. He was in there for years. He saw what it could do. He knew the history of it. He knew the championships. He knew what was going to come. And he said, I want something different. He got out of Dodge. Don't hate on him. He's still very talented. All the skills that you think Pop and Duncan and the Spurs gave him, he was born with them, or he made them throughout his 20 years before he even got there.
Nope.
Maybe he refined them with the Spurs, but there's a reason he got there. There's a reason that the Spurs wanted him and that they crafted him. he was always gonna be a star.
Nope.
And he just wanted to be a solo guy with multi millions of dollars. It wasn't gonna happen in San Antonio. But back to your question, what do the
Nope.
Spurs
Nope.
need?
We
That is the
created
truth,
him.
Danny.
No, we created him, bro. No.
Is the truth.
Dude,
You-
okay. He was gonna be a Griffin.
He's better than Griffin right now. Look at his stats.
No shit. He's been a Griffin now, but I'm just saying that's
So?
what he was gonna be. He was gonna be like a maybe.
You're
like
saying
a-
he was gonna be this. I'm telling you, he already is.
Well, because after he went through the Spurs, but imagine he stayed with the Pacers. Ponle. He stayed with the Pacers. Would he?
Okay.
Would he be? Would he have? Okay. Would he have 2 rings? First of all,
Well,
no.
no, but he
right?
would have left earlier, and maybe he would have gone to the Warriors. Maybe he would have gone to the Thunder back in the. You don't know.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And maybe he would have had 4 rings by now if he stayed there and it was him, Curry, and Durant. You have no
I
idea.
have no idea, but you know what we
Exactly.
do know.
He could have gone anywhere.
Yeah, what
Yes,
we do know
he
is
could've.
that he did go to Spurs, and then he became,
And
a
he didn't
superstar,
play
whatever.
the Spurs. He didn't steal from the Spurs.
No, he
just
didn't.
didn't sign. He
No,
just
he
didn't
didn't.
sign.
No, okay, he
That's
he,
it.
he
That's
didn't.
it. It's not like he told the world, "I'll be here for life." San Antonio, 30 years, I got you. He
Well, I
just
mean, well,
came.
he
He was
did.
silent.
He
He,
did say
never
that.
talked.
He did say that. He did say he wanted to play with the Spurs for his whole career. Just saying.
Yeah, you
You
can
know, I'm
want
just saying.
stuff and change your mind. Yeah,
Well,
that's
yeah,
different.
but the
Like,
only
he also said he
honestly,
wanted to win championships,
me-
and he saw where the
for me the only thing
franchise
that
was going.
like annoyed me was the whole like how you went about it. I mean, I guess like you can go.
Quietly.
He didn't do
It's a
it about it
style.
quietly, dude. His uncle was bitching, dude. That's the only thing that like.
Yes,
Family.
Two public comments that got over tweeted, over replayed.
Well, because
It's not
Spurs
like
keep
he
getting
has
Toronto
rants.
or whatever.
It's
right?
not like he's Antonio Brown.
no,
or he's
no,
not
no.
like he's Jalen Ramsey with the Jaguars.
But
He
still,
just don't
it's
get
like, but it's like one of those things where we're like, hey, look, dude, like we're gonna bring you in, and you're gonna be the future. We're gonna build everything around you. And
And
imagine,
if they didn't, any
what?
other team would have done it.
Imagine like Aaron Rodgers, right? Imagine Aaron Rodgers, right?
Yeah.
He's the Packers, but the Packers don't give him a running back. They fucking barely give him a line. Tiene a good receiver.
The real story, the real Aaron Rodgers story. Yes.
But say like they do give him a line. Say and they give him like Barkley,
Yes.
they give him
Yes.
Antonio Brown and Kelsey or whatever.
And Danny,
Ima-
you're making a great point, but Kawhi wanted that before they give Ginobili a last chance. Before they made Tim Duncan be like, "Oh, I'm gonna play every other game." He wanted that like ASAP. He's like, my prime, which is the years he was playing, were like, "You're the fourth. You're the fourth."
But he wasn't.
And
He
you
wasn't
know
in
what?
his-
You know what? You got all the skills, and
But
you
he
got all
wasn't
the
in his
stats,
prime yet.
But you're the man. Are you serious?
Dude, no, I think Kawhi was in his prime. He's in his prime right now. Would you not say in his prime right now?
Yes.
Okay.
And he would not be in
When
this
did- when
same
did-
level of prime if he was playing with the Spurs.
No,
Can you not say that? Can you not agree to that?
that what he would
If he would have stayed with the Spurs, he would not have reached this level.
I think it would have been, would have gotten more rings. It's because we never saw. The only thing is we never saw Kawhi and LaMarcus.
We
'cause-
saw Kawhi, Duncan, and Parker and
But-
Ginobili.
yeah, but that was still-
It's like LaMarcus hasn't done anything. Why are you
Correct.
comparing that to LaMarcus?
That's what I'm saying. But like that team was because Duncan was the anchor and everything like that. So that team was
Yeah.
already built or whatever. But then
And
it was
Kawhi was like, "This is old school. Let me go to a team where I could be a star."
correct. But what they were doing was they were trying to build like the new school system. Like
And
because they brought
he
in.
didn't like it. He didn't like that.
No,
That's the simple issue why he left.
I don't think it's the fact that he didn't like the actual system. I just didn't like. I don't think he just didn't like being told what to do. Like we're like very like Spurs. We're like, hey, dude, this is a job. Like you can't have fun.
He's a quiet guy that excelled with the Spurs for multiple years. What do you mean he doesn't like to be told what to do?
Well, yeah,
It's not like he's not like, hey, no, Pop, shut the fuck up. No, he did everything he was ever asked for.
Yeah, yeah, and then what? In this case, like,
And
'cause
didn't win anything.
I don't think it. Honestly, I don't think it was Kawhi. I think it was the people around him. That's what I think.
That too. No, I agree. I'm not gonna say that
honestly.
didn't play a factor
Because
it
like
did.
you know, like oh he's quiet and everything. It's like yeah, dude. Like and that's fine. You know, you can be like that, but you could have said something where you're like, you know what, guys, like, I just don't, you know, like the way that the system's here. I'm just gonna leave. All right, cool. That's fine, bro. You said something. You know, you told us.
But think about it. What would it? So that would have been nice for the Spurs fans and the Spurs organization.
Yeah.
But as Kawhi the person, what benefit would it do to him to be like,
PR.
I don't like y'all system? It would be zero benefit. Why would he do that?
But in this case, like for him, be like, all right, cool. Like this guy, because all the other teams. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, right? Because
They're
like,
looking out for themselves.
Because talent like speaks for itself or whatever, right? But but look at the Clippers now. Like they're doing all this extra stuff for him and Paul George or whatever, and it completely deteriorated the team chemistry. So like it's kind of like, I mean, maybe the Spur,
that happens very often,
and it does, right? I mean, but it's like
very often.
A lot of the things were like they're asking like all these very very crazy like requests. Like the Clippers were even saying, even what's his face, Doc came out and said
Rivers,
yeah, that they were saying like they wanted their own plane, they wanted their own like
that's diva shit.
No,
Come
like
on.
seriously, dude, they wanted their own plane. They wanted to choose the games that they would play, and the other games, they would sit out, like stuff like that. It was like, bro, like stop, dude. Like you're.
Wait, and that was Kawhi saying this, or
yes, that was Kawhi. That's the only reason why they even got Kawhi, because Kawhi was like, look, dude, I want this, and I want Paul George, or I'm not gonna sign with you. I'm gonna go to the Lakers.
And he got what he wanted after he said that.
Yes. Because Paul Vaughn.
Good for him. He thought that was the best route, and he got it. He fucked up. It wasn't.
I mean, but
I mean, at least he can say he did it his way.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I mean, I guess I don't know.
Like if you forget the Spurs bias, let's say Danny, you grew up being a Timberwolves fan, would you really hate Kawhi for what he did?
Well, no, obviously, like, I mean, they're not like.
And I'll always remember that.
No,
always
yeah,
remember that.
Well, yeah,
always
but it's like the people of Cleveland when like LeBron left the first time. Like, how do you think they felt or whatever? You know what I mean?
They felt like their only chance to be relevant left.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
but how do you think LeBron felt after he won so many rings and now he's considered one of the best in history?
Well, that's what I'm saying, but I'm not LeBron. I'm the fan.
And will LeBron do what's best for him or what's best for the city of Cleveland when he's not even?
Well, yeah, but I mean, it helps. I mean, it helps you out. I mean, LeBron's LeBron, right? He's like one of the greats or whatever. And Kawhi too, right? He's not one of the greats, but he's really good. He's one of the good, very very good ones or whatever.
Especially lately. Yeah.
Like say you're like Tobias Harris or something, and you fucking do that shit to like the Wizards. Like, you think that shit's gonna fly? No. Like
but nobody has those expectations of you. When Kawhi thought I could be the greatest in the league, I don't think Tobias thinks that. I don't think he's like, let me go to another team so I could be the MVP.
Say like,
of the
what
league.
about like Kyrie? Like Kyrie did thought he was.
He did think that, but he was way wrong. I would take Kawhi over Kyrie.
Well, yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Kyrie thought a lot of himself, and good for him. And to be truthful, he made a lot of millions out of it.
He did.
Great for him.
He made a movie, bro.
Yeah, exactly. But was he worth it? And did he win the championships he was supposed to?
I mean, he won what? 2? 1? I don't even know, honestly.
Honestly, I think he won
Cleveland.
Yeah, one with
Cleveland.
Yeah,
but
so
that's what I'm saying. Kawhi literally was looking out for himself, and every hater.
And it is a bias, and it's super biased because I'm a Spurs fan. Like, whatever. We're building. The whole thing was like,
I'm a Celtics and a Bucks fan, so when I saw that, I was like, good for him.
We were the only thing is like we were building up for him, and then he's like, nah, never.
Were you?
Yeah, they were.
The Spurs were holding on for dear life to their old stars.
Well, yeah, like it
Like-
was one of the. I mean, dude, this is like Duncan and Ginobili. Like we don't really have.
And for the Spurs organization, that means a lot. For a
Correct.
guy that just left college and got picked, and he thought he was the next Kobe or MJ,
But he
he's
didn't-
like,
but
oh
he
shit,
didn't
I'm being
come-
held back by this.
But he didn't come into like he didn't have those expectations coming into college or whatever. He was pretty good, but he wasn't the like expected like the one to be guarding.
expectations that he has
guarding
for
LeBron
himself,
or
only he
whatever.
knows, Danny. Only he knows.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
It's
I'm
like,
just
oh,
saying.
like Michael Jordan didn't want to be the best ever. He wanted to be the best in 1991. No, like
No,
you don't
but-
know
but
the
I'm saying,
true
like,
aspirations of somebody.
Yeah, but but he himself, like the league itself wasn't like, oh well, this guy's gonna be like the next LeBron, like the next LeBron defender.
Yeah,
or
no,
whatever.
he didn't come out of college being that, at all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But did he have the size, the body, the hands? He could shoot, he could defend since college, and people thought he could be a very, very, very good developmental player. Absolutely.
yeah.
And that very, very, very good developmental player went to a developmental team where he was going to be fourth string for his first 3 years or more. It was more. And he was like, nah, like I'm wasting time here.
But
That's literally how I summarized those moves.
But you understand, like that they're literally gonna leave. Like it's like kind of like if I was if I was Kawhi, right? Like
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to the Spurs or whatever. Okay, well I'm not gonna make a lot of money, but I'm gonna learn from the motherfucking best that's ever been in the history of the fucking basketball.
And
Should
how
I
many
get that
years?
corporate-
How many years?
Would
do you need that,
I
Danny?
grab that knowledge? Would I use
How
that
many
knowledge?
years?
Nah, I'm just gonna go to the T Wolves, get a max contract, and like be irrelevant as fuck. You know what I mean? Like,
All right, so Danny, I'm gonna flip it real quick. Let's say Trevor Lawrence in the NFL world and the rookie world. Let's say
Yeah.
the Kansas City Chiefs picked them. How would he feel?
I mean, like shit.
So that's how he felt for 2, 3, 4 years. It wasn't for one. It wasn't
Yeah,
for
and
his first 2.
dude, but okay,
it was for the long run.
they're already gonna retire. They're already retiring anyway. Like it's like one of those
And
like
he
where
was wasted. And after they retired, what were they gonna have? There was no nucleus. Like if you're talking about the Spurs in 2016, what was gonna be the next 5 years of the Spurs?
Okay, it was gonna be DeJounte Murray.
Patty Mills, Murray wasn't there 5 years ago.
Yeah, he was. He's been like in
He wasn't the future than 5 years ago. He just got better in the last 2 years.
Yeah, correct. He's been because he got
Oh yeah,
hurt
5 years ago, you counted him as a scrap in the practice squad.
correct. And, I mean, he's still a first round
One
pick.
of the many 5. We're talking about 2016, bro, not right now.
Yeah, I know. Well, still, like he was still coming up, and I can't even like. Hold on, let me pull up the Spurs team.
I was saying
'Cause we
Kawhi
had-
saw that the
I mean-
Spurs were holding on to their old players. and
Well, the
not
thing
having
is,
the
like-
nucleus to go forward.
But why is it that we had like was it Golden State on the ropes?
Yeah, but let me tell you this: 2020, 2018, 2019, 2020, the last 3 seasons. If we had Kawhi, if the Spurs had Kawhi with the exact same team they had around them, could they have beaten the Warriors, or could they have won a championship just with that team?
With 2016, yes. Just because
No.
Kawhi.
2018, 2019, 2020.
Well,
The last three seasons, if you only added Kawhi to the Spurs, would they have won a championship
I think so. Yeah,
last year? This year?
I think it because I don't think about this year. I don't think last year. Maybe like because
I don't think they could have beat the Warriors.
The thing is, the key thing was because this is pre the Warriors going against the Cavaliers for like 7 finals or whatever it is they
Which
went.
was the last couple of years, which is what we're referring to.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, pre that.
Oh, pre that, yeah. Maybe they had a chance.
Pre that it was because LaMarcus he wasn't in his prime, but he was playing pretty good, and so they're putting. I mean, you had like LaMarcus Aldridge. You do. I mean, 2016. Let me do was Ginobili still in there? Yeah. No, 2017.
You have a
NBA tournament.
filter on right now. Your eyes look crazy, man.
Oh no, it's like because they reflect or
little-
whatever.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
screwing
it's not a filter.
So okay, and
That's
so
something different.
yeah, so let's see. So they had LaMarcus Aldridge, is it Slow Mo? They had Bertans, Forbes, they had Gasol. I mean, he was already old. Ginobili was already old. Danny
Man.
Green,
At-
David
At
Lee,
Kawhi, would they have won a championship?
Kawhi, Patty Mills, DeJounte Murray, Tony Parker, and Jonathan Simmons, which he had like his little breakup. Like,
Artie, answer that for me, please.
Huh?
well, I mean, they finished.
I love that. That was awesome.
So they finished 61-21. They're second in the NBA conference, Western Conference.
That's fucking good. Yeah.
Yeah, they're 14 in points and second in points guard or
And what
points.
happened in the playoffs?
Kawhi got hurt. That was a peculiar year.
So without Kawhi, what happened?
I mean, it kind of fell down.
So why do you think Kawhi left?
Well, because I guess.
Exactly.
Wait. I thought you wanted to be the guy though. Wait. I thought you wanted to be the guy and not have to rely on 3 other motherfuckers like scoring for you.
Think about it like this, Danny. Is
Espérate,
LeBron?
what?
Danny, is LeBron
So-
James the guy? He's been a
Yeah.
part of a 2 or 3 top dog for like last 10 years.
Yeah,
He's just trying to emulate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, that's
yeah,
what I'm saying.
exactly.
Like what the Spurs can't like.
One
LaMarcus
guy
was
doesn't win
scoring.
anymore.
Was
There
going
was only
pretty-
one Jordan. There was only one Jordan. And after that, these new players, not aside from Kobe, I love Kobe. These new players are ruining the sport a little bit. Now they're all tag teaming and they're all joining up, and now there's super teams all over the place. And you can't say one guy, even though Jordan had great help. When you're talking about some of the best players that you think are secondary, but whatever. If you put Scottie Pippen, if you put whatever, without Michael Jordan, they're still one of the greatest. Regardless, nowadays you won't see that. You won't see one guy like Kawhi. If he would have stayed with the Spurs for 10 years and he would have lifted the Spurs to a championship, I don't see that happening because another team would have gotten, I don't know, Kevin Durant and Chris Paul and someone else, or just like it happened. It would have been Stephen Curry and Durant and everyone else, Ibaka. I'm forgetting about Clay. They would just tag team and have more star power against that one star. That's how the league has changed, and that's why I think Kawhi's. I don't think he saw it coming or he foresaw it, but his agents probably told him. Just like we talked about earlier, his friends or his inner circle told him, "Hey, get out of Dodge." For the same reason, they didn't see the Spurs system as we're a whole team. We don't need a 1 or 2 stars. We need everybody playing and doing their part to win the games. It hasn't won championships in the last couple of years. We're talking about 3, 4, 5 years now, not 1 or 2.
Well, yeah, but I mean, how many NBA teams have won a championship?
A lot.
Well, yeah, but in the last,
I don't know the specific number.
I was like,
It's
in the
not 2 or 3. It's like 10 or 15 or 20 maybe.
yeah, in the last 10 years, there hasn't been a lot of actual teams.
Oh, and in the last 10
teams.
years, nah, it's probably been like 5 teams.
Yeah, so. But either way, I still think. I mean, unless he wins another championship, by himself.
And he's not gonna win one by himself. That's what I'm trying to say. As of right now, you won't see a star. You won't see a generational player playing by himself. You get me? Like, let's say like Zion. Is he playing by himself? Or Luka? I mean, actually, Luka might be.
I think Luka is playing by himself.
or maybe like think about so everything I'm saying, the Milwaukee Bucks the last 2.
Oh
3 years.
yeah.
They
Yeah,
might have the
I was
best
gonna say-
player.
I was gonna say
they might have like
okay,
Giannis could be
okay,
the best,
Okay.
but what are they
I
gonna do
concede.
if it's just him? They're not gonna do anything, and that's what Kawhi learned off of LeBron and Wade and all them. They're like,
but why did he?
it's not just me anymore.
But why did he choose like Paul George? Like of all, I mean,
At the moment, and in that year, if you go back to that moment,
yeah, I guess so.
he took his best shot. He's like, I'm gonna take the data that I have available and make a choice.
But
It was the wrong choice, definitely.
But he told the Spurs that he wanted to trade for Paul George earlier.
Because he thought that if they brought him in, it would be a different situation. But did they?
Oh no! I mean, he was too expensive.
And that's where he's like, if he's too expensive, who else are you gonna bring to help me out? Nobody. And he got out of Dodge. And he's had better shots. He hasn't won, but he's had better shots.
I don't know. I feel like I would have chosen someone better than Paul George. Like
me too. Absolutely.
Like imagine like Lillard, bro.
Nothing against Paul George. I actually do really enjoy his level
imagine
of play.
Lillard and Kawhi.
Damian Lillard.
I think he was trying to find something that was realistic at the time.
Exactly.
I mean, but honestly, I mean, I guess because Lillard is.
He took a stab at it. He took a stab, failed, and now he's taking another stab. And you know what? He's young enough to take 2 or 3 more stabs, and he might change a couple teams.
I mean, and
will Kawhi win another ring? In the next 10 years, I would bet money on.
Yeah.
Whatever team it might be with.
Yeah.
In 10 years.
I think if the Clippers kind of get their stuff together, I still think they had a really good team last year. I think they just.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
I think they just really messed up. I mean, I don't know, COVID, the bubble, and everything. I mean, everything.
Goomba, Albert, our other host here, would have agreed with that. But yeah, I agree with that, Danny.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk about that. So we kind of went on a little bit more than anticipated with the Spurs. We'll kind of go.
We scheduled 3 minutes for that segment.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So we'll figure that out. So real quick, just gonna mention. I know that we don't really have a lot of Spurs going. Spurs. We don't have a lot of sports going on right now. But just kind of wanna just bring up a little bit about the Tiger Woods situation. So as you guys can, I'm not sure if you guys have kind of heard. But just wanted to talk a little bit about it. They did say that this was, I believe, when was this?
2 days ago.
2 days ago. Yeah, he did get into an accident, to one man accident. He did hurt his car accident. He did hurt his like his ankles and his legs and stuff like that. That usually affects.
Both of his legs.
Both his legs, but usually it does affect golfers. Obviously they have to use their lower body. But he did get surgery. He is recovering. He's fine. I don't really know much about golf, to be quite honest with you. I know none of us really kind of know. But I just want to kind of talk a little bit about his position in golf, what it kind of means to the sport, and really just kind of what one person can kind of do to an entire sport in itself. So we'll kind of give your thoughts, Superfan Art. What do you think?
If any of y'all had seen the new documentary that HBO had about Tiger Woods, it's like a 2-parter, pretty much detailing his whole career. I highly recommend it. It's like you get a real in-depth, like, into this man's life. He was pretty much bred to be a golfer since he was in a diaper. And I mean, he was pretty much like a drone, almost, being constantly, golf was his life. Everything else took a backseat to that. And I mean, sadly, he's had ups and downs, but you can't understate the impact he had on the game, and making it like breaking barriers. Like, there was golf courses back in the day, and there might still be some that don't allow like anyone who of a different ethnicity than just all white.
I was gonna say, I don't know the details, but maybe when he was young, he wasn't even allowed. And I'm not saying maybe. I read a story. That's true. He wasn't allowed in a certain golfing course.
Yeah.
But obviously that was when he was 10 years old.
Younger.
But yeah, he's seen the sport progress and change and cause the change. Sorry, go ahead, Artie.
No, yeah, that's right. I mean, he overcame, prejudices, and like he turned a lot of heads upside down with, anyone could be talent can come anywhere. And like a legend can be some random kid like out in Stanford University, could be a phenom. Like anyone can do it. Doesn't matter like what color, race you are. So like it's understated. Like his impact on the game. Like as a golfer, he's probably I don't know if it's too early to say the greatest all time, but he's on the Mount Rushmore in terms of greatest golfers ever. Uh, and yeah, he's battled with addiction before, his demons in the past, but he recently came back in 2019 to win his first majors in like X amount of years. So I mean, everyone was rooting for that comeback story, and now he took a significant hit, obviously, with this accident. I mean, thank goodness he was okay, or you know, if he wasn't wearing that seatbelt, it would have been a whole different outcome. But I mean, who cares about golf? The man's, he's a father, and thankfully he's okay. So I mean, if we don't see Tiger Woods hit another ball, so be it. I mean, just wish him the best, speed recovery. I used to play golf a little bit back in when I was a kid, and obviously he was the guy to look up to. Like if you were into basketball, you would be looking up to Jordan back in the day. He was the same thing. He was the Jordan of golf back in the day, and well, pretty much throughout the decades. So there's a lot to be said about him. I just hope he can get past this incident and continue on life after golf, if so be it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like sometimes, we forget that celebrities and athletes and just people that we see on TV are actual people. We all have our
Just like us.
just like us, yeah, we all have our demons, we're all squishy and everything inside, and we all have emotions and feelings and memories and stuff that just happens to us. And like you said, golf is golf and stuff, but he is a father and he is a as a person too. And I just hope he recovers. First of all, just to make sure he he's able to walk, he's able to just kind of live a normal life, and then whatever it is that he wants to do after, we all support him and stuff. Sivas, what are your thoughts?
Um, well, I mean, I'm much like Art. Definitely feel like it's a major hit to Tiger Woods. I gotta be honest. I'm not a big fan of golf, or I don't know much about golf. I'm not saying I don't like it, but I don't watch it on TV, and I don't have it outside my yard, or never played it as a kid. But Tiger Woods, as far as I have ever known, or as long as I can remember that name, has been one of the top golfers in the world. And
Yeah.
what sets him apart from anybody else is because he is one of the first black top golfers in the world. I don't know the full stats, but I know that he definitely changed the sport completely.
Yeah.
Before him, myself, I cannot mention another famous African American golfer, even a Mexican golfer, or any other race. To me, in my head, I think golf. Oh, it is majority a white sport, a leisure sport, and whoever's very, very good at it is very privileged. And that's just what I think off the top of my head, being ignorant to the fact of what golf is, right? But when I hear Tiger Woods, I hear a hero. I hear the guy that overcame it all, came in, and he just took tournament after tournament after tournament with no mercy and won every game. And I kind of followed his career. I learned about golf throughout following his career. Yes, obviously he had the whole incident with domestic violence, the incident with his wife. He had a falling from grace. He had a coming back from grace. He had his whole 2.0 career going on, and he was really, really tearing it up. He's won a lot of tournaments. He's actually ranked up quite a bit, and he was pretty much one of the best golfers in the world again after falling from grace. But now you have this tragic incident, and now you hear that it's both of his legs that were affected. One of his ankles was shattered. Like I said, I'm not a professional, or I don't know a lot about golf, but you have to think about it. You have a stance, you have a hit. If you have messed up legs, if you don't feel your bounce, you're shifting in the weight in the same. If you have injuries that affect your nervous system, it's gonna affect the game no matter what. No matter what, it could be a. I'm not a professional. No one knows. I haven't read much on it, but he might not be able to recover as far as being a professional golf
Level.
athlete or golf player. Yeah, like he might recover and be able to walk, run, jog,
And even
but
play golf.
as far as having the same swing, as far as having the same feel for it, the same everything,
Yeah.
only time will tell. We're not experts on medicine, but to be honest, just from what I read, it's looking very, very hard like he'll come back. But Tiger Woods, to me, has been a guy that came into a sport nobody expected him to thrive, and not only thrive, became the best in the world, and not even became the best in the world, but was immensely popular. Like Tiger Woods, the only reason we know about Tiger Woods is because he's the greatest golfer in the world. We don't really know much about anything else about Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
Yes, his domestic disputes that one year, but even that, it was because he was so good at golf, you know. I don't know his college stats. I don't know any of that. I just know that one, he's a professional. Two, as far as I know, he's been a great person. He is involved with charities. He doesn't have much negative attention, except obviously his incidents back in the day. But I got a feel for him. When I heard about that, I know that he was in the midst or in the top of his comeback tour, if you want to call it that. And now you have this type of accident where he didn't ask for it. It just happened, and his career is at stake. The rest of his career is at stake. Yeah, he might go down as a Hall of Famer already, but would he have wanted to win a couple more Masters? Would he have wanted to extend his records or his domination? Yeah, I'm sure he has. He's a top one grade A competitor, and he literally just got his legs taken down from under him. So praying for him. Hopefully he comes back. Obviously, we don't know much about the whole details of the situation or his personal life, but overall, Tiger, I hope you recover. I hope you can still play golf in a competitive situation with multiple tournaments and win. May the Lord keep you in his prayers, man.
There we go, man. Yeah, no, honestly, just to kind of give final thoughts on that, just want to obviously make sure that we're all careful, we're all safe. We're still in the middle of the pandemic, and anything can happen at any time. Really.
This COVID is a once in a lifetime thing, guys.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So yeah, and just with Tiger Woods, it just really kind of shows us that even to the greats, a small thing, such as a car accident, can really affect you. Where it's not something obviously that you're planning or anything like that, but it's something that can happen, and you can't really control it. It just kind of happens. The only thing you can control is what kind of happens after, and
how you react to the situation.
Yeah. So I just want to wish you Tiger Woods, in case you ever listen to it, and just recover, man.
What do you mean? He's an avid listener every week.
Right, for real. We're gonna have a guest star next week.
number one fan. Love you, Tiger.
Make sure you recover. You rest. Stay with your family and everything. You are. Make sure you take care of that first, and whenever you're ready to come back,
always.
Obviously, well, the not just the golf world, but just like the sports world in general, will obviously, welcome you back, and everything. Just want to give a final shout outs to our sponsor for today, Studio 13th Day, local music, local arts.
Yeah.
Essays Best, working for you, of course, in case you need any audio, music editing, any graphic arts, or any logo design, let us know, and we can hook you up with that. Studio 13th Day at San Antonio, Texas. All right, guys. We're going to start wrapping it up real quick. If you want to start, Mr. Superfan Arts.
Mezzo Forte.
Thank you, Dan. Listen to Vegas. The Lakers' 4-game losing streak shows how desperate they need that unibrow to stay solid. Remember, sports are great, but nothing without y'all, the fans. This is episode number, 13 and 14. Who cares? Until next time, folks, be cool, stay safe, and keep on listening to Mezzo Forte Sportz.
Yeah.